the table.
It's for the mums. That's the way to do it. Hit them on the head. Yes, I do.
With them. So I know him.
Everyone's saying to me, oh, he's a different one. I was going to say, he must be, mustn't he? Yeah. Enjoying it still.
A very warm welcome to everybody who's here, villagers and visitors from France. I ought really to have said, ladies and gentlemen, mesdemoiselles, mesdames et messieurs, at the beginning. We're delighted to have been invited along to Burwell at Large, which is a 2-yearly miracle of ingenuity, inspiration and cooperation. And it really is wonderful that the villagers do cooperate so well to produce this Burwell at Large. Now, we haven't ever done this before, maybe it looks a bit that way, but we hope this will be a memorable and historic day for Burwell because this is our twinning ceremony. We've agreed to twin already, it's just that we've invited 16 French people along to witness the actual signing. There are 16 French people in the village, at least. 1 or 2 French people actually live in the village, but 16 people have got up at 3 o'clock this morning and come across the channel, and they're staying in Burwell homes. I should say that we are in fact twinning with 3 villages. Lizy-sur-Ourcq has got a smaller population than Burwell, so we're also twinning with Marie-sur-Marne and Ourcq, and the total population of the 3 is about 5,000. There are 5 artists amongst the French who've come to return a visit that we paid them last October. Every October they have an exhibition of painting, and we welcome them here. We welcome the Presidente of the Lizy Twinning Association, Françoise Verlaguet, on my left here. We also welcome my counterpart, and the person who's done a lot of hard work on the other side of the channel, and who, since the elections in May, has become Deputy Mayor of Lizy. That's Josette Galinier. That's why she's wearing the tricolore sash. We also have representing Marie-sur-Marne, Madame Naret. And representing Ourcq, we have Madame Patier. Now, I'm not going to say very much at all. I'm going to be just introducing various things that are going to be happening in the next 3/4 of an hour or so. Can you still hear all right at the back? Good. We hope that this will lead to family exchanges, and we're going to be circularising our membership later this year about what they'd like to do and when. But already we have ideas that there might be exchanges between guide groups at some point, football clubs, choirs, even the evening class. There's a French evening class here and an English evening class over in Lizy, but mainly families. I shan't say much more just at the moment. I'd like to ask Françoise Verlaguet, who's going to speak in French, and that's what it's all about. There's no problem about that. I shall ask her to stop every so often so that I can fill in and tell you what she's been saying. Françoise.
Madame la Présidente du Conseil paroissial, Monsieur le Président du Comité de jumelage, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants des communes et du Comité du jumelage, chers amis, chers tous, je viens sceller au nom des communes de Lizy-sur-Ourcq, Marie-sur-Marne et Ourcq une amitié naissante aujourd'hui, ce 17 février 1996, et qui, je l'espère, sera durable et fructueuse pour tous. Cette amitié, vous le comprenez, c'est le jumelage. C'est ce qu'on appelle le jumelage, que je suis très heureuse de rendre solennel aujourd'hui à Burwell.
I'm just trying to summarise that particular part of the speech. Apart from the welcoming to various personalities here, she said that she's come to represent the three communes, Lizy, Marie and Ourcq, to celebrate a friendship which is being born today and which she hopes will be long-lasting and fruitful for everybody. It is known as le jumelage, that's to say a twinning, and she's very happy to make it official today in Burwell. She's got more to say.
Tout d'abord, qu'est-ce qu'un jumelage? C'est un pacte entre deux ou plusieurs lignes de pays différents. Personnes, de manifestations.
The French idea, or their idea of a twinning, is an agreement between several towns in different countries to promote friendship and understanding between the inhabitants, and it can give birth to many exchanges of ideas, people, and public demonstrations such as we have this afternoon.
Les communes de Lizy-sur-Ourcq, Marie-sur-Marne, Ourcq ont décidé, en accord avec Burwell, de mettre à la disposition des habitants un nouveau service public, celui de connaître d'autres hommes, de les rencontrer, de leur parler pour se comprendre, de leur donner l'occasion de bâtir et de réaliser des projets communs.
It seems to them in Lizy and the other villages that they are putting at the availability of their inhabitants a new kind of service, since it's new, that is to get to know other people and to meet them and to speak to them and to get to understand them and to build and realise further projects together.
En France, en 1947, deux jumelages se réalisaient avec la Grande-Bretagne, Belette-sur-Mer avec Grenoble et Bordeaux avec Bristol. Les jumelages se sont concrétisés en 1950 avec l'Allemagne, puis une nouvelle période en 1959 avec les pays de l'Europe de l'Est. Ensuite, une troisième période de jumelage a vu le jour en 1970 avec les pays du tiers-monde. C'est ce qu'on appelle les jumelages de coopération.
France, there seem to have been three phases of twinnings. She mentioned the first one between Great Britain in 1947, between Great Britain and France. She mentioned that there were some in a second phase with the countries of the east of Europe and Germany especially, and then a third lot in the 70s with the third world, the underdeveloped countries.
Fin 1974, 2700 communes françaises étaient jumelées avec des pays européens, dont 809 avec le Royaume-Uni. Ce chiffre montre qu'un tiers des jumelages français s'est opéré avec votre pays, ce qui prouve bien les relations privilégiées entre la France et la Grande-Bretagne. Et à compter de ce jour, un nouvel accord supplémentaire.
A few statistics about the end of 1994. 2,716 communities in France were twinned with somebody in Europe, of which 809 are with the UK. And she says that this shows that about a third of them are with the UK, and that we have a privileged place in the organisation of twinnings. And of course, from this day onwards, there'll be one more.
Pour cette occasion, vous remarquerez, chers amis, que je ne suis pas venue toute seule. Nous sommes venus en force avec un car, petit, rassurez-vous, pour vous apporter un peu d'air de France et plus spécialement de l'abri. De plus, vous pourrez juger de l'aspect de nos paysages, car 5 de nos peintres locaux nous ont accompagnés pour présenter certaines de leurs œuvres. Ils sont nos messagers et j'en profite pour remercier chaleureusement les organisateurs de cette exposition de les avoir invités.
She said that you'll have noticed that she's not the only French person here, that they're in some force. They come by coach, which she stresses is not a very big one. Maybe next time they'll bring more than one. Some air from France, and especially some brie. You'll also be able to get some idea what the countryside is like around their villages, because there are 5 painters who've brought paintings of local scenes. Not just that, but some paintings of local scenes. And she thanks the organisers of Burwell at large for having invited her here.
Ceci est un premier pas qui nous permettra de mieux nous connaître, de mieux nous apprécier, et ce sera passionnant de se découvrir à travers tous les échanges qu'a prévu notre convention. Encore merci d'être ici parmi nous. Je souhaite prospérité et bonheur à nos communes et à leurs habitants.
Sorry about all these noises. Finally then, she's saying that this is just a first step to enable us to get to know each other better, and it'll be exciting to discover new elements as further exchanges take place. Thank you for being amongst us, and she wishes us prosperity and good fortune. That's Madame Berlinguer's speech. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our president. She does lots of other things, as you know, Hazel Williams, who's going to reply to Madame Berlinguer's speech.
It's a delight to be here, and it's a delight to welcome all of the people who travelled from France and had quite a long journey, I think, to get to us this weekend. It's very special for us because it's a weekend when we can share with our visitors all of the activities which take place in the village. And we're very pleased that they're able to have an opportunity to see just what goes on in Burwell. And I'm sure that when we go back to visit them, we will have a similar opportunity. I didn't realise in 1994 that when the letter came suggesting there should be closer links with the European community, that it was going to culminate in something as splendid as this. We get lots of letters at the parish council, and some of them get acted on, particularly the parish ones, and some of the general ones no one necessarily wants to take up. But John was very keen that we should be doing something positive about this. And I know John and his committee have worked very hard to make the whole thing come about. In March '95, the Burwell Twinning group went over to Lizy and visited them, and they came back here in July '95, and I think decided that we liked each other, which is great from our point of view because there are so many similarities between the two communities. For those of you whose geography isn't very good, it's 40 miles east of Paris we're talking about, and if you know where Euro Disney is, general area, yes, in the Ile-de-France. But it was important that whoever we twinned with were a similar sort of community, and Lizy and the other villagers are very similar. They're a rural community, which we are, but they have light industry, which we do. They are growing, which we are too, and that's really important to us. There is a lot of history in Lizy with 17th century church, a castle, and we have a lot of history which we're proud of here too. We're delighted that the artists could come along and display their pictures because it gives those of us who haven't yet been across to France, it gives us an opportunity to see some of the landscape around their villages. It's particularly important because this has been a whole village thing. It hasn't been the parish council, it hasn't been one little group. The whole village have been involved to a very large extent in being part of welcoming the opportunity for closer links with the European community. And in the era we're living in now, that was extremely important. Great Britain often gets criticised as being a bit insular. No one in England learns other languages very well, they often say. Well, John can prove that's not true, but I can't, I have to say. I thought it would be better if I didn't do this speech in French, because my French accent is pretty awful. But we're trying very hard to have closer links, and I hope that this will be the beginning of something really very special for our community. Thank you for coming.
Right, well, we now have the, I believe, traditional moment where gifts are exchanged. The two presidents are going to figure fairly largely in this, but I believe Josette would want to say one or two words at the point where one of the gifts is being made. And I think the first thing to do really is to present the gift from the village to Lizy. This is a piece of woodwork which was commissioned from Burwell Scott, and it's being presented by the parish council. It's a beautiful thing. We'll get them to unwrap it and show you, and it must have maximum exposure around the village and amongst you tonight or this afternoon before they take it back to France, and I hope they will hang it in there, I'm sure they will, Town Hall in Lizy. So, Madam President, would you do the honours on this particular one?
Commune, je remercie le comité de jumelage de ce...
This is a piece of oak, I didn't say that earlier, and it's got the chairman, the badge of the chairman of the parish council reproduced on it, with the castle and the water, Burwell, the castle and the springs, and the 1996 Burwell Lizy-sur-Ourcq around the side. It's rather a splendid piece, and will hang up in their town.
Expressing the thanks of the French community here for this wonderful gift. It's marvelous carving which expresses everything that exists here. And I would like to explain what sort of gift we have been bringing with us. First, Madame Gondard is going to display a tour, because we both live in the country, on your side of the channel and on our side. And this is given for your museum, because when we came in July, we were very interested in your museum. Now, this is a mold to make the cheese of Brie. There's all the there's a bed of straw on which the cheese is strained, and we have to turn it so that the milk is strained. It drips gradually as you turn it. So this is for the Museum of Burwell. We have another gift. Yes?
Is Paul Hawes amongst us, please? Would you like to come up and take this for the museum? Thank you.
Into the museum. Now we have another gift, which is a plate which has been decorated especially for the occasion. Madame Patier is going to bring it. And a letter from the village of Ourcq. Now we had some trouble in choosing the decoration because there were 3 villages with different emblems or different coats of arms. So we decided to show the 2 flags. The one you know very well, which is the Union Jack, and the other one. And the other one which shows the French flag. Which dates back to 2 centuries ago, when we had the 2 colors of Paris, our capital, that is to say blue and red, put on each side of the white flag of our monarchy. So this is the origin of the French flag. And we have another gift, which is the medal of Marie-sur-Marne, brought by Madame Narret. And in which you won't escape them, there are 2 flags. Burwell Lizy has brought a medal as well.
Total silence.
A medal on which we can see the town hall, the church, and a mill, to show you that we grow corn as well. So thank you very much.
I should perhaps add that we've seen some of these medals before. We're very glad to receive them, and we had some last year, and they're displayed over on our stand. I also happen to know that Josette herself had a very prominent role in actually designing the Lizy-sur-Ourcq coat of arms, which some of us are wearing today. Now, we've got some relief for you. We've got some musical items. And by the way, we're going to be presenting gifts from BVTA, from the Burwell Twinning Association, to our guests tonight at the dinner. We're going to present them with some tiles, which the Burwell Brick and Tile Company kindly did for us, with similar wording on to the plaque here. We're going to give them each also a mug, which we've had commissioned. We only had 15 copies done, and I suspect that if we have more done, there'll be people in the village who might like to buy one. It shows the BVTA logo, which some of you are familiar with, and talking of which, here's the latest plan of Lizy, Marie and Ourcq, and it shows on it the Burwell and Lizy logo, and it's the first time I've seen it in colour. We've had it in black and white on our things, and it's been black and white on the mugs that we give them tonight, but here it is on their official plan, actually in colour. It's rather nice. Right, now it's my pleasure to introduce Philippa and Philip Lyons. Now, they're very well known to the village as folk singers, very popular, very much liked. Philippa's a former colleague of mine, and so I've persuaded her to try to form a correspondence link with one of her classes with one of the schools in France, and I believe that has just happened. Okay, would you like to come up and announce what you're going to do? Thank you.
Right, the reason for that is because the mic is very sensitive and it's picking up all the noise, and in case we make a bit of noise moving about, I don't want to blast it out with that. Yes, just a little bit about the correspondence link. Because unfortunately we don't have a secondary school in Burwell, John asked me if I could try and sort out something with Scottback School, which is where I teach in Newmarket. And I know we've got at least one pupil here this afternoon. And quite a lot of the 8th year pupils at Scottback have said that they would like to have French pen friends from Lizy. So about 3 weeks ago we were able to send back a whole batch of letters twinned with the names of French children who wanted pen friends. And last week, the first letter came back from France to people in my classes at school. So we're hoping that over the next few weeks, these other letters will trickle back and hopefully the link will be formed, because that's how links between towns really get off the ground, and families, and particularly when the younger generations form those links. Right, we're going to sing a couple of songs for you this afternoon with a local flavour, and hopefully, well, the second one certainly with a cross-channel flavour. And I'll introduce them in English first and then in French. The first one is one I wrote a long time ago about the village of Reach, not too far away from here, which has its fair every year. Now, it used to be on the 1st of May, but the government in their wisdom decided that the 1st of May wasn't really particularly special, so the first Monday in May would do. So that's when it is now. Very old fair, dates back to the time of King John, 13th century, and it's the second oldest fair in the country, is that right? And there are lots of different events that happen there. Reach is a very small village, as you know, but once a year it becomes alive with people from all over the place that come to the fair in Reach. And it's got a chorus celebrating the fair, but also celebrating the weather, which is not usually too favourable at that time of year, but nobody minds. You can tell the regulars in their wedding boots. Nous allons vous chanter deux chansons. Et la première raconte l'histoire d'un petit village 2 ou 3 kilomètres d'ici qui s'appelle Reach. Normalement, c'est très calme, c'est très paisible et il y a très peu d'habitants. Mais une fois par an, au début du mois de mai, il y a une foire. Et c'est un très vieux foire qui date du Moyen-Âge, du XIIIe siècle. Et chaque année, il y a des étages, il y a des buvettes, il y a des danses, il y a des manèges, un peu de tout quoi. Et pendant toute une semaine, c'est transformé. Et le refrain dit les vieux et les jeunes, venez tous à la foire, vous y trouverez des amis, de la famille. Quoi importe s'il pleut ou qu'il fasse beau, nous allons nous amuser.
the green, the cream of the Cambridgeshire sideshows are seen. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. At 12 o'clock, in spite of the rain, out comes the mayor in his cloak and his chain, proclaiming the charter decreed by King John, and throwing new pennies at old pounds upon. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. The Radio Cambridgeshire Roadshow is there to tell all the listeners the sights of the fair. And if you don't wish in the beer tent to stand, you can listen to Burwell Excelsior Band. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. The Sioux knocked to battle with halberd and foil, and Morris went dance to the bold Princess Royal. The waterways rally with boats on the load, and children will dance round the maypole we're told. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. Flush up halfpenny prizes to win, a teddy, a goldfish or bottle of gin. The children can ride on a roundabout small, or bounce up and down on a castle so tall. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. Then homeward we wander to walk off the beer. The rain clouds are gone and the skies are all clear. Our pockets are empty but little we care, for everyone's had a fine time at the fair. Old and young, join the throng, friends and relations you're sure to find there. Rain or shine, stormy or fine, we'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair. We'll laugh at the clouds when we go to reach fair.
The second song is it's not very serious at all, and it's homage to the French car industry. Now, I used to have a rather battered old Renault 4 car, which I was very fond of indeed. I've never been particularly attached to any car. They've just been a way of getting from A to B, but I really felt something for this little thing, however rusty it was. Then I got another one, which was not quite so rusty, but I'm still very fond of. Eventually I parted with it because my mother made me an offer on her old Renault 5 that I couldn't refuse, so it's grown up now. But this is all about my Renault 4 car. C'est une chanson pas sérieuse du tout qui traite d'une ancienne voiture qui était une Renault 4L que j'avais il y a 3-4 ans. Malheureusement, je n'ai plus parce que ça a grandi et ça est devenu un Renault 5. Et il y a aussi un refrain. My father owned a Daimler, my uncle drove a Merc, my brother used his Cadillac to dazzle folks at work. They changed them when the ashtrays filled, another tiresome chore. But mine's a car with character, a wine-rich Renault 4. Oh, I love my Renault
It'll roll about but never slide, and in the car park it sits up high. No other car can be mistaken for a Renault 4. Oh, I love my Renault 4, it's the only car that I adore, and you ain't seen nothing like it, that's for sure. You can keep this from Mercedes and your Chevrolets, your Ferraris and your Porsches and your Ford Coupes, for I never hear a word against my Renault 4. At the fair the other day, the local fire brigade gave a display when a lady was trapped in a car and couldn't free the door. They took their axes and cut it apart, but they cut me to the heart, for the car they were dissecting was a brand new Renault 4. Oh, I love my Renault 4, it's the only car that I adore, and you ain't seen nothing like it, that's for sure. You can keep the swell Mercedes and your Chevrolets, your Ferraris and your Porsches and your Ford Coupes, for I never hear a word against my Renault 4. It's got 5 doors, it's got a new spare wheel, well, what a thrill. It's got a rear fog light, out of sight, and a roof that moves back all the way. If the engine's acting rough, take no notice, just get tough. You can use it and abuse it, it'll just come back for more. It's quaint and individual and idiosyncratic. There's nothing that would make you think it's fully automatic. No, there's nothing that will keep on going like a Renault 4. Oh, I love my Renault 4, it's the only car that I adore, and you ain't seen nothing like it, that's for sure. You can keep swell Mercedes and your Chevrolets, your Ferraris and your Porsches and your Ford Coupes, for I never hear a word against my Renault 4. En français, que j'adore ma vieille Catalogne, du parc bagnole aussi belle, et du monde qui n'aurait jamais vu de telle. Garde tout pour Mercedes et pour Chevrolet, pour Ferrari et pour Porsche et pour Ford Coupé, car je mène pour les cheveux passés de ma vieille Catalogne. Oh, I love my Renault 4, it's the only car that I adore, and you ain't seen nothing like it, that's for sure. You can keep swell Mercedes and your Chevrolets, your Ferraris and your Porsches and your Ford Coupes, for I never hear a word against my Renault 4. No, I never hear a word against my Renault 4. Oh, how I love my Renault 4. Woo!
Now come to the all-important moment when the two presidents are going to sign these charters up here. When they've signed them, we'll get them held up so that you can see. There's one French version, one English version. Before we do that, confirms and strengthens the interest of the small rural town of Ourcq in our twinning. As Deputy Mayor, she will be the ambassador of the Entente Cordiale, which we're all pleased to renew here. In the Lizy-sur-Ourcq district, Ourcq brings in the distinctive touch of the Ourcq River area in the heart of the deep rural Ile-de-France. The links we're now setting up will contribute to a better understanding of our differences and thus to the making of Europe. We're looking forward to welcoming you at the beginning of next May at the time of our village festival. I'm pleased to convey to you the best wishes of the 300 inhabitants of Ourcq, Claude Fortier, Mayor.
Thank you very much for the flowers. Thank you.
We just have the big singers now, I think just. They're very good. And simply unveil it. There are two more of these to unveil. That's the one that's going to go to Newmarket Road, I think. The one on Swaffham Road will be unveiled tomorrow by some of us, and if you'd like to come along, you'll be welcome at 11 o'clock. And the other one will go on to the Fordham Road. Now the Phoenix Singers. Yes, Jack.
Hi there. Don't be shy. After the road sign. Whilst they're assembling, we're going to sing three pieces, one in English, one in French, and one which is sort of a hybrid, as you'll find out later. Nous allons chanter trois pièces. Trois chansons. Le premier chanson, early one morning, au matin, devant l'heure, et vous entendez les mots ne me trompe pas, ne me quitte pas. D'habitude. First one we're going to sing is Early One Morning, which I'm sure you will all know. Stevie.
Oh,
XVIIe siècle. 60-20, Amaryllis. We're now going to sing a French song called Amaryllis from the 17th century, dated 1620. And we think you will like it. The choir worked very hard over this, so I hope you appreciate it. And I have Amaryllis. It's quite interesting. I have one or two notes about it here. In the first verse, the spring and the sun do not compare with Amaryllis in splendor. Verse 2, clear sky in May, roses and lilies about to flower, do not match Amaryllis. And the third verse, at dawn, rain revives the flowers, but their beauty is powerless to relieve the poet's sad heart, as he sees tears in Amaryllis' eyes. A sad little song. Thank you. Something quite unusual for us. We have taken the music, the choral part of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, known as the Ode to Joy, Freude, and we've chosen to end what we think is a very fine ceremony with this little anthem, which is rapidly becoming the European anthem. We sing first of all in German because that is the language that it was originally written in. Schiller's poem, Freude, gave the inspiration to the music. And the next one, well, I'll tell you about this when we come to it. Nous allons chanter maintenant Freude, Ode to Joy par Schiller. Right. Thank you. As a courtesy to our French guests, we are going to sing it in French. I'd like you to realise that they've put in a lot of work of this, and you may not know what they're singing, but so the French version. Well, that was the French version, and now we have a little bit of audience participation, I think, because Celia has written out for an English version. Aren't we versatile? German, French, now English. And now I don't think we can manage the English as well as we manage the French or German, but we're now going to sing it in English, and I'd like to pay tribute to Celia and the choir for having learned this particular item, particularly to Celia, who has provided us with the verse for the English version. And only now. Have we got it?
We have. Aren't we going to do it once as four parts?
Yes. We'll do it once as we sing it, and then we'll try and get you to sing the words.
Do you want the words switched
Sorry?
on now? Do you want
Yes.
the words?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been having a look at the words. A bit like a pantomime, this isn't it? I'm sorry we haven't got a little bouncing ball to go over the top of the word. I'm showing my age, aren't I? Joy, bright spark of God's creation, daughter fair of realms divine, fired with heavenly inspiration, enter we your holy shrine. Thus your magic reuniting where our customs sharp divide, brotherhood of man inviting, neath your gentle wings spread wide. We shall sing it first of all in our four-part version, and then we would like to ask you to sing the, not four-part, sing the top line.
Are we going straight into the?
Sorry?
Will we go straight through both versions?
We'll go straight into the second verse.
symphonic singers. There are all of you who ought to join BBTA, and we have our membership secretary here tonight. And I say in conclusion that there's been a special bell ringing arranged by the St Mary's Church bell ringers that started, I believe, at 5:45, and that if you go outside and listen, you will hear them doing a quarter peal, which lasts 3/4 of an hour. And let's hope that they actually manage it. I'm sure they'll keep going anyway. You're invited now to step inside there and join the members of both committees and have a glass of wine and some refreshment, whatever you like, and to mix with us and them, and go out and listen to the bells, which I hope we can hear from here. Thank you for being so many of you here tonight, and we hope to see more of you in future occasions. Thank you. We're going to put this table down here so that you can come and look at the things.
Very good, well done.